The translation of the verse 11. O mind, you should every day drink the five nectars. Any Suttada remember these five? Yesterday we read and I said, I'm going to ask you. Anybody remember these five nectars? No one? Worship, glorious, meditation, listening to the divine pastime, and offering humble obeisances. And worship Govardhan according to the rules. In this way, follow the instructions of Sila Rupa and obtain the direct service of Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, who are captivated by the God of amorous love in the company of their associates in Braj. The next is a picture, Sri Govardhan with the five nectars, Panchamrita. Devotees are doing Abhishek of the Govardhan here. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Darpan commentary on this verse. What is the most confidential, deeply esoteric, and exalted science of devotional service a sadhaka practitioner can perform to the divine couple? Raghunath Das Goswami gives the answer within this text. Tat Gana Yujo, with confidential and eternal associates. Lord Sri Krishna is always surrounded by his friends such as Sridham and Shubha. And Srimati Radharani is surrounded by friends such as Sri Lalita Devi and Sri Vishakha Devi. Smara Vilas Parayana absorbs in attractive, wonderful pastimes. Become deeply absorbed in and attached to Radha Krishna's wonderful Shungara Ras after finding it more attractive than the other ras, such as servitorship, friendship, and parental relationship, Vatsalya Ras. Braje Saksat Shevalabh, achieving direct service in Brajadham. Whatever service is rendered in the stage of sadhana bhakti, devotional service according to scripture in practice, is a simulation of direct service. In the stage of perfection, Siddhi, one first attains service to the Lord from a distance. After gradually serving under the guidance of a manjari from a distance, one gets service that brings one close to Sakhis. After that, the practitioner gradually achieves the direct service of the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha Govinda. So there are unlimited varieties of direct services, such as cleaning the forest growths, making the bed of the divine couple, fetching water, preparing tambula, betel nuts and leaf, stringing garland, and offering camphor. The services in spiritual world are endless, and unlimited maid servants are each engaged in their specific respective service. The direct service of Radha and Krishna is possible only when the living entity achieves an eternal, perfected, original spiritual form. In the direct service of this wonderful love, one experiences the highest, purest bliss at every moment in one's heart from the deepest emotions. There are many pictures, pages are there, so let's dwell on those. Lord Sri Krishna is always surrounded by his friends such as Sridham and Subha, and Srimati Radharani is surrounded by friends such as Lalita and Visakha. They are on the top in Vrindavan forest. All the animals are there, and Krishna is wandering in the forest with all the gopas. And at the bottom of the page, all the Sakhis are playing the Holi, spraying the color on each other, enjoying the pastimes. Next page, in the stage of perfection, Siddhi, one first attains service to the Lord from a distance. So there is a Radha and Krishna is there, Lalita, Visakha, and other gopis are close to Krishna, and other who are new, that they have just received the perfection stage. They are from far, doing some service to the divine cabal. Next page, gradually one gets service that brings one closer to the Sakhis. So we see now that those perfected beings are getting closer to the Manjaresh, closer to the divine couple and the other primary Sakhis. And on the last page, the practitioner gradually achieves the direct service of Sri Radha Govinda. That now we see that those perfected beings are serving Srimati Radharani, offering some sweets to the divine couple. So these are the stages. That bliss, when you serve the divine couple in spiritual world, never diminishes, nor does it ever get quenched, because the object of our love is eternally new and fresh. At that stage, one has no selfish desire and is only motivated by direct service. Therefore, not even an iota of suffering can touch one's heart. The misery that arises out of separation, vipralamba, in that beautiful love is just a transmutation of this ultimate bliss, and is not like the suffering one experiences due to this material body. Sri Rupera Samam, aligned with the teaching of Sri Rupa Goswami. Being aligned with the teaching of Srila Rupa means to follow the process, niti, that the master teaches of this wonderful rasa. Srila Rupa Goswami has taught in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Sri Ujjvala Nilamani. In this regard, he says, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 90 through 93. With love and full faith, one should worship the lotus feet of the deity, Srimurti, and one should taste the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of pure devotees. And one should associate with the devotees who are more advanced than oneself and who are endowed with a similar type of affection for the Lord. One should congregationally chant the holy name of the Lord and reside in Vrindavan mentally or physically. The glorification of these five items is to make known the complete superiority of these five practices of devotional service. Quoted from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 2 to 130 to 132 and 2 to 129 purport. Next is the picture on the back of this page is one stood where tilak and the deity's garland and drink the deity's foot wash water. That's why in all the temples, Prabhupada made it his facility to have the Charnamrita at all the temples. So I think we should stop here. There are continuation of Rupa Goswami that all these five things now he is gonna describe in detail: worshipping the Lord, glorification, then meditation, and then worship of Govardhan Hill, offer obeisances. These are the five processes. So we will dwell tomorrow. Now we will dwell in the life of our dear Srila Prabhupada. We are on the volume number 5, chapter 1. Chapter title is The Land is Yours. Let's see where we left yesterday. Okay, I'll just read one line, one paragraph, 4 lines long, and then we will continue. This is Radhanath Swami Maharaj is talking. One day, a big bus full of American devotees having a kirtan pulled into Vrindavan. And I was thinking, oh, here they are again. The first thing I asked was, is Prabhupada coming? And they said, yes, Prabhupada is here. He will be speaking tomorrow morning. So that's where we left. We continued. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj continued. I was already attracted to a lot of gurus in Vrindavan, Prabhupada's godbrothers, and also devotees from other sampradayas. But on the morning when I came for the Bhagavatam class and heard Prabhupada chanting Jaya Radha Madhava, I just sat there and listened. I had never seen anyone with such a quality of love for Krishna. All the great people I had met in India became insignificant when I saw Prabhupada chanting Jaya Radha Madhava. He was so serious and grave, and the quality of his devotion was so intense. I just couldn't believe it. He kept looking over at me every now and then, kind of nodding, because I guess he remembered me from Bombay. Then he spoke, and he was glorifying Vrindavan so nicely. He was talking about how wonderful Vrindavan is, how spiritual the atmosphere is, and he was talking about how careful the devotees must be to take advantage of this atmosphere. From that day, I started thinking, good, this is my Guru Maharaj. Just because of the way he spoke. His lecture had been so precise and inclusive that it had encompassed every other philosophy and every other teacher I had ever heard. I could see also that Prabhupada's example was pure, and I could see his disciples were actually giving up sinful life. I used to go to his darsans every day, although I was still living on the bank of Yamuna. Maharaj continued, all the people of Vrindavan were glorifying Prabhupada. They were so proud of him because the people of Vrindavan are attached to Vrindavan. They love Krishna and they love Vrindavan because Vrindavan is the place where Krishna lives. That's their mode. They worship the land of Vrindavan, but they would tell me they appreciated Prabhupada. Most of them would call him Swami Bhaktivedanta. They would say, quote, he is the greatest saint because he is bringing Vrindavan all over the world. He is making the glories of Vrindavan known to the whole world, unquote. Maharaj continued. Then one day Prabhupada and his disciple went to an ashram in Ramanreddy. I got there late, just as Prabhupada was leaving. He was walking the last 20 yards or so to his taxi, and many Brajvasis were offering their full danvats in the road. I felt very appreciating their hometown, Swami. This is the new episode in Delhi, December 1, 1971. Upon his return to Delhi, Srila Prabhupada, along with the 40 disciples who had accompanied him to Vrindavan, stayed at the Birla Mandir. The host offered Prabhupada a small house reserved for special guests in the back of the formal garden. Meanwhile, political turmoil continued to trouble the nation's capital as the threat of an all-out war between India and Pakistan increased. Even peaceful Vrindavan had been disturbed, being only 90 miles from Delhi and 34 miles from Agra, with its large military installation. One night, while Srila Prabhupada had been staying at Sarab Bhavan, the local authorities has ordered a blackout. Srila Prabhupada and the devotees have been confined to their quarters. The electricity had gone off and everyone had covered their windows with blankets so that even the candlelight could not be detected. Nevertheless, despite political agitation and threats of war, Prabhupada had now come to Delhi to preach. On his second day in the city, he visited the American ambassador to India, Kenneth Keating, at the American embassy. Srila Prabhupada explained to Mr. Keating the basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the distinction between the material body and the soul, or the soul, living within the body. Quote, you have got this strict coat, he told Mr. Keating, but I cannot address you, Mr. Strict Coat. Yet, we are actually being addressed like that. We are identified with this body, unquote. And Prabhupada explained the soul's transmigration through the 8.4 million species. Quote, That is very interesting, unquote, Mr. Keating commented. I believe in the transmigration of the soul. Haribo. It is a fact, Prabhupada said. Just like this child transmigrating from one body to another, he indicated Saraswati. In the same way, when I give up this body, I will transmigrate to another body. That is a science. Quote, I see the American boys and girls, although coming from very rich and respectable families, are turning to hippies. In spite of your arrangement for very big universities, they are becoming frustrated. They are no longer satisfied to live in material opulence. So the present position of human society is dangerous because everyone is feeling dissatisfied and confused. Do you have many Indian followers as well as foreigners? Mr. Keating inquired. Quote, yes. So far as Indians are concerned, everyone accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unquote. Well, Mr. Keating added, I'm very impressed with the sincerity of this young American man. Everyone, said Prabhupada, as soon as he understands the science of Krishna consciousness, will accept it immediately. When Swami Rajanandaji was here, said Mr. Keating, I asked him his definition of God, and he thought a minute and said, well, I would say God is the thread which links one good person to another. I thought that was a very interesting definition. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada said. Just like you have a pearl necklace and it is strung on a thread, so all the pearls are resting on that thread. Everyone is resting in God. Not that only good men should be resting on that thread. The definition given by the Vedanta Sutra is perfect. Janmadi asya yataha. God is the origin or source of everything. What do you say? I'm very impressed, Mr. Keating replied. Another definition of God, Prabhupada continued, is that he is all attractive. Everyone has the attractive future of opulence, strength, fame, beauty, renunciation, and wisdom to some extent. You are an ambassador, a representative of your country. So you are attractive. Sometimes somebody comes to me, let me see the Swamiji. So this attractiveness everyone possesses. But God means he who has got all attractiveness in full. After some time, Ambassador Keating apologized and excused himself for an appointment he had to keep. I'm an ambassador and I have to move from the sublime to the mundane. I appreciate very much your coming. Srila Prabhupada responded, now I'm also coming to mundane point of view. Next time I come back to the USA, I wish to see the president. I can write a letter, Mr. Keating offered. I'll be glad to help you. Prabhupada smiled. You are busy helping the whole world so that peace may come and people may be happy. But instead of being happy, the people of your country are becoming hippies. there is some defect. And here is a chance to rectify the defects. Krishna consciousness. So let us do something tangible, scientific, so that people will become happy. Okay, we have some time. That evening, Prabhupada wrote one of his disciples about the meeting. And Prabhupada is explaining in his own words as follows. You may be pleased to know that this morning I met here in Delhi with your American ambassador to India, Mr. Kenneth Keating. He has got very good respect for our movement, and he has promised to help me to arrange the meeting with your presidents when I shall return to your country, perhaps in the late spring. I have requested him to help this movement, and that help will save your country from great danger by turning hippies into happies. Let us see what can be done. The next day, while Prabhupada was on his morning walk on the streets of Delhi, he asked a devotee to get a paper from a newsboy passing by on a bicycle. Prabhupada read the headlines, quote, emergency declared, 3 enemy planes down. He, the devotee, read aloud. Pakistan launched a massive attack on the Western Front, bombing 7 Indian airfields and crossing the ceasefire line in strength in Poonch. The Prime Minister in her broadcast late tonight described it as a full-scale war launched by Pakistan against India. Earlier, the President had declared national emergency. The national emergency had international implications, with America cutting off supplies to India and supporting Pakistan. China threatening India and Russia supporting India. Good. This war will not last long, Srila Prabhupada says, immediately. It will soon be finished and Pakistan will lose. Later that night, he heard Indira Gandhi's broadcast over the radio as follows. I speak to you at a moment of great peril to our country and our people. Today, war in Bangladesh has become a war on India. This imposes on me, my government, and the people of India a great responsibility. We have no other options but to put our country on a war footing. Prabhupada was not alarmed. War was not the only ugly reality. Birth, death, old age, and disease, and so many other material sufferings were inevitable, war or no war. Prabhupada continued to follow the news. However, and some days, Shyam Sundar would purchase for him 3 or 4 different newspapers. Somebody asked me one day, should we keep contact with this material world also? We see in the life of Prabhupada that he also did it. We can learn so many things and we can apply and use in the preaching work. After a few days at the Birla Mandir, Prabhupada and his party moved to a dharmashala in Kamalanagar district of Old Delhi. There Prabhupada delivered what the devotees later referred to as the blackout lectures. While black painted newspaper and blankets covered the windows, and combat's jet flew overhead. Prabhupada would speak by candlelight to his disciples. The propensity to fight is very strong in this age of Kali, he said. And the population is becoming so sinful that they are trying to accumulate atomic weaponry for ultimate destructions of humanity. Sometime Prabhupada would ask a disciple to speak to the group also. No guests were present since during blackout no one could walk the streets. And on some nights the police pounded on the door, demanding the devotees extinguish even their candles. I think it's reached about time, 6:53, little bit left in this chapter. Maybe 4 paragraphs, and then we'll be embarking on the chapter number 2. No one listen to a poor man, title of that chapter. So with those start, before the devotees leave, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of their lotus feet by uttering the prayer, Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasindhuvaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So thank you very much for joining.